Hello everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics, and in this video we have a product review for you. API sent us some fish food, and so we're going to be taking a look at this, talking about how it performed. We've been using it over the last couple weeks, so stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. We do a lot of videos just like this, product reviews, species profiles, videos on filtration, water chemistry. We've got over 65 fish tanks in our fish room, and we've always got something going on. So API sent us a number of different types of fish foods. The first one we got were these small sinking pellets, tropical fish sinking pellets, so we fed those out. We also got some of these. These are some floating pellets, some cichlid floating pellets, and we'll talk about these. They sent us some flake food, and finally they sent us the large cichlid pellets. And so let's go ahead and take a look. Now, if you're newer to the channel, what we've done, we did a video, a much more comprehensive video on fish food and how we feed our fish. I will put that in the upper right hand corner as well as in the description below. If you want a lot more information, a much greater in-depth look at fish food, definitely check that out. When I did the original fish food video, one of the things I talked about that was so vitally important, one of the number one things is when it comes to fish food, will your fish eat the food? I'm happy to report that in all cases, our fish seem to eat the food without any hesitation. And so that is a number one thing. You can buy the best fish food in the world, but if the fish aren't going to eat it, it really doesn't matter. All it's going to do is mess up your water quality. So in all cases, both our cichlids and our regular tropical fish, they ate the food, which is definitely a good thing. So the second thing, of course, is what are the ingredients? And so you can see here the labels for these fish foods, the ingredients. In a lot of cases, we've got some type of fish meal and some type of protein source that is the primary nutrient in that fish food. When I talk to the reps at API, what they've tried to do is balance the amino acid profiles as best they possibly could so that the nutrients aren't wasted on the fish. One of the other things that you're going to notice is that API doesn't add artificial colors to the fish food, and so it's going to be a brown flake, but there's not any of the typical reds and greens that you would see in some of the other flakes that have those artificial colors added. All right, so the large cichlid pellets, the floating pellets, they did in fact float. One of the things I liked about them is they weren't very messy, and so when I fed them to the Oscars or when I fed them to tinfoil barbs, they ate those foods and there wasn't a lot of debris left over as they were eating it, so that's definitely a good thing. What I will say is the smaller cichlid pellets that were supposed to float didn't float at all. So you can see here, we put them in the tank and they almost immediately sink. Now for me, I didn't necessarily mind that because once I understood that they were just going to sink and not float, I fed my tanks accordingly. If you're buying those pellets hoping that they're going to float, well, that might be something to consider, is that they definitely sink very, very quickly. The flakes themselves, they don't float as long as some of the other flakes that I have used in the past, probably because they are devoid of a lot of the artificial fillers. They do sink after a short period of time, but again, the fish really seem to enjoy them and they didn't foul up the water, and so that's definitely a good thing. The smaller pellets, the sinking pellets, did exactly what they're supposed to do. They sank, the fish ate them. Now, if you're interested in purchasing any of these API fish food products, I will put an affiliate link down in the description below. It might be a nice thing to try something new, or if your fish currently aren't eating the foods that you're trying to feed them, this might be a good option. So what did we learn over the last week or two of feeding the API fish food? One, the fish ate it, and that's a big win. Both our cichlids and non-cichlids ate it. There wasn't anything left over. Two, it didn't foul up the water, which is good, especially for those larger cichlid pellets, which can sometimes do that. I really didn't see a lot of that happening, which is awesome. There are no artificial colors, which I enjoy. Couple things. One, the flake food sunk a little bit faster than what I'm used to. And two, those smaller pellets didn't float. They tended to sink a lot faster. Now, it wasn't a big deal for us because I just changed the way I was feeding that food, but it's something to keep in mind. All right, everyone, I hope you found this useful. Again, if you want to try something new, there's an affiliate link down in the description below. If you did find it useful, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.